Hello, welcome back to my statistics class. In today's section, we are going to talk about how to read data. So, data basics. We have a different type of variables. So, what is variables? So, variable is the characteristic that being recorded or measured. So, all the data is all variables. We have two types, numerical and categorical. So when it comes to numerical data, you can think about numerical data is the data that is sensible to add or subtract or take average with those value. These are considered numerical data. Sometimes they also call these as quantitative data. Okay, when it comes to numerical data, we have two types. One is continuous data, the other is discrete data. So continuous data is you can obtain by measuring. For example, so continuous data can be slightly different to each other. For example, continuous data could be something like weather. Oops. So in today's weather is 57 Fahrenheit, and then tomorrow can be 59 Fahrenheit or 59 or 60 or 23 Fahrenheit, and so on. In addition, continuous data may be changed over time. While the weather is 57 Fahrenheit today, it might be 62 Fahrenheit tomorrow. Continuous numerical data provides detail and nuances information to business who wanting to gain further insight. One of the differences between numerical and categorical data. So another type of data is discrete data. So for discrete data, you can obtain by counting. So such as how many students sign up for Math 146, or the number of students enrolled in Business 101. So this is considered discrete data, which makes sense. You're counting the head count, right? You can't measure how many students. Okay. Another side is what is categorical data. So categorical data is represent types of data which might be divided by group. Such as race, sex, age. That means you're trying to categorize people into different age group, different education level group, or different race group. So when it comes to, race, sex, age group, or educational level. Okay, so when it comes to categorical data, we have a regular categorical data, which is identified as data as that is used for naming or labeling the variables without any quantitative value. So we use these to naming or labeling without any quantitative value, such as gender, which country are you from, your race, hair color. So these are regular categorical data. Another one is ordinal categorical data, which is list with ordered manner. List including having a position in the class, such as the first place, the second place, ranking. Those are ordinal data. The last part is identified data. So identified data is very literary, such as everyone only have one unique data, such as your name should be unique, sometimes may repeat, your ID, your postal code, or your phone number. Those are considered identified data. Remember, yes, these are numbers, but they're not numerical data, because numerical data is sensible when it comes to add and subtract. Think about it. It doesn't make sense for you to add your phone's number with your friend's phone's number, right? Or it doesn't make sense to take average of your social security number, right? If this doesn't make sense, that means this is considered a categorical identified data. Okay. So categorical data is also called quantitative data. Numerical is quantitative. Categorical is qualitative. Okay. Now, the case of data are respondents, participant, subject, or experimental unit that being asked or measured, such as who and the what. So remember that those are the participant or respondent or subject. So variable are characteristic or measurement that are being recorded or measured, which has described it value. So, for example, using the data below to explore the idea of cases and variable with survey results from 10 statistics students. So, we have ID, gender, credit, award, sibling, TV, school, rating, polls. So, this whole thing is called data matrix, which is the table to recording everything that you are sampling. All right. Now take a look. What are the case of the data? So remember that the case of data is who or what. So who participates or who respond to the survey. So in this case, it's going to be the 10 statistics student, right? Because we surveyed the results is come from 10 statistics student. So the case is 10 statistic student. Okay, what are the variable of the data? So the variable are the characteristic or measurement that being recorded. What are we recording? We're recording the ID, right? Gender, and the credit, awards, siblings, the number of siblings. TV, school rating, also the polls. Okay, now take a look. What are those data? So ID, everyone have a unique ID. So this is going to be a categorical data. So under categorical, since it's unique, so this is going to be an identifier. Okay, so gender is what? Gender is you trying to assign people and naming people into different group. So this is going to be another categorical data, and it's going to be a regular categorical data. So credits. So credit is going to be a number, right? So does it make sense you can add or subtract? Yes, it makes sense. So that means this is going to be a numerical data. And under numerical data, is this going to be a discrete or continual? Well, your credit can only be 12, 13, 14. You can be 12.5 or 14, 1.5. You can change over time by time. So that means this is going to be a discrete data. If they can change time by time, that means this is going to be continual data. Okay, awards. So award, we have what? Olympics, academic, Nobel. So this is going to be a categorical data, and it's going to be the regular one. Siblings. Sibling, you can have 2 or 3 or 5. So this is going to be a numerical data, and it's going to be discrete. Another way to differentiate discrete and continuous data is if this is by measure or counting. So you're counting how many siblings do you have. So this is going to be a discrete data. So TV is going to be another numerical data. Oh, I spelled this wrong. Numerical. And the TV is also by counting, so that means this is going to be a discrete data. So school rating, it looks like 5, 4, 5, 1, 3. But does it make sense when you add in a rating together? No, right? Because I can say SPSCC is rating 5 and then Tacoma Community College is rating 4 together. On average, our rating is 4.5, right? It makes no sense, so that means this is going to be a categorical data. Also, when it comes to ranking, that means they have order. So in order manner, so this is going to be an ordinal data. Polls. Polls is going to be a numerical data. So is polls going to be continuous or discrete? Well, when you get in a polls, are you going to by counting or measuring? So you can consider that way. Polls, some people say numerical, some people say discrete, some people say continuous. It works either way because people's polls will change over time by time. Today you might be 54, tomorrow you may be 60. When it comes to discrete, we can also say discrete because you can have 0.5 polls, right? So the number is counting it. You're counting it. How many polls do you have? But I think, to me, I personally think this is more like a continuous data. Okay, so C is we just done describe each variable as a categorical and numerical data. I'll see you next time.